Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome on back to another reaction video. If you have no idea who I am, my name is Sam, aka OGB Reacts. I'm a first-time movie reactor here on YouTube, posting whenever I can. The movie that I'm watching for this video is one of those films that has been mentioned here and there, and I've heard about it in the way that it's just one of those movies you kind of have to watch, and I really don't know anything about it. The movie that I'm watching for this video is 12 Angry Men from 1957. Again, I really don't know anything about this film other than I believe it is about some sort of trial or something like that. But in terms of like, you know, plot and story and what the trial even is, I have no idea. But of course, I am excited to watch, so if you are watching here right now, I really do appreciate you and thank you for watching. And to everybody over on my Patreon, I also appreciate you over there. Thank you so much for being there. Thank you so much for your support, and I hope you're enjoying all the full unedited reaction videos, the access to the polls, and access to other reactions that aren't yet cut for YouTube. If you want to watch the full watch-along version of this video or to anything else on my channel, you can absolutely do so over on my Patreon. It is $5 a month for that. I also have a tier over there that is solely for the polls, which ran every single Friday, and that is $2 a month for that. I also have a 7-day free trial available on my Patreon if you would like to take a crack at watching these watch-along reactions. So yeah, don't really know what I'm getting into with this movie, but I'm excited to watch, and I hope that you guys are excited for the reaction, and with that, really do hope that you guys like this reaction, and I shall see you on the other side. Enjoy!
You've listened to a long and complex case, murder in the first degree.
Okay.
However you decide, your verdict must be unanimous. The bench will not entertain a recommendation for mercy. The death sentence is mandatory in this case.
Wow. Is this your murderer? Huh. Oh boy. So 12 men, 12 jurors. Why are they angry, you know? That's the question.
I called the weather drill this morning. This is going to be the hottest day of the year.
Of course it is. Of course. Well, maybe that's why they're angry. Because it's hot. Did he just lock it?
I never knew they locked the door. Sure they locked the door. What'd you think?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Oh, I thought we might want to vote by ballot.
Great idea. Maybe we can get him elected senator.
Oh, this is gonna be a ride. I already know it.
Yeah, we can all get out of here pretty quick, huh? I don't know about the rest of you, but I happen to have tickets to that ball game tonight.
Oh, yeah. I have a feeling he will, be missing that game.
Gentlemen at the window. We'd like to get started.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Pretty tough to figure, isn't it? Kid kills his father, bing, just like
Oh,
that.
listen, you analyze the...
Killed his father. Okay.
Well, we can vote on it right now, then.
I think it's customary to take a preliminary vote.
Yeah, let's vote. Who knows, maybe we can all get out of here, huh?
Uh-huh.
He's just focused on getting out.
Now, all those voting guilty, please raise your hands.
Oh boy.
1,
It's so funny because you can see people hesitating because everybody, yep.
8, 9, 10, 11.
Yep. Everybody's looking at him
11
like, really?
Guilty. Those voting not guilty?
Yeah.
1. Right.
You really think he's innocent? I don't know. I just want to talk.
Well, what's there to talk about? 11 men in here think he's guilty. No one had to think about it twice except you.
Well, some people hesitated, like I said.
It's not easy to raise my hand and send a boy off to die without talking about it first.
And that's a very fair point. Yeah.
Let's take an hour. Ball game doesn't start till 8 o'clock.
I heard a pretty good story last night.
That's not why we're sitting here.
Right, that's not why we're sitting
All
here.
right, then you tell me. What are we sitting here for? We don't owe him a thing. He got a fair trial, didn't he? What do you think that trial cost?
Oh, yep, this is what this movie's gonna be.
Listen, I've lived among them all my life. You can't believe a word they say. You know that.
Huh?
I mean, they're born liars.
Only an ignorant man can believe that.
Now, listen.
Do you think you were...
Crazy. See, and well...
It's a product I work on at the agency.
That's literally like, and like he's right now... Okay.
Listen, what about the woman across the street? If her testimony don't prove it, nothing does. His window was right opposite hers across the L tracks, and she swore she saw him do it.
Through the windows of the passing L train.
Right.
You don't believe the boy's story. How come you believe the woman's? She's one of them, too, isn't she?
Oh,
You're a
boy.
pretty smart fella, aren't you?
I mean, he has a great point saying that, you know?
I can't see 2 slaps in the face provoking him into committing murder.
It may have been too many. Everyone has a breaking point.
I mean, what if it was like self-defense, right?
Oh, this is a very fine boy.
Ever since he was 5 years old, his father beat him up regularly. He used his fists.
Well, so would I.
And that
A kid
doesn't-
like
doesn't
that?
help.
Huh.
It's these kids, the way they are nowadays.
And, well, it's an argument for every older person. These kids nowadays.
I got one. When he was 9 years old, he ran away from a fight. I saw it. I was so embarrassed, I almost threw up. I said, I'm
This is
going to
so
make
silly
a
to me.
man out of you if I have to break you in 2 trying.
It's good. Yeah, good.
Well, I made a man out of him. Haven't seen him for 2 years.
Damn. Well, you gotta wonder. Wonder why.
It's no secret children from slum backgrounds are potential menaces to society.
The kids who crawl out of these places are real trash. I don't want any part of them, I'm telling you.
Listen, I've lived in a slum all my life. I mean,
Wait a minute.
Please, I've played in backyards that were filled with garbage. I mean, maybe you can still smell it on me.
Now listen, Sonny. Come on now, there's nothing personal
Oh,
about
there
this.
was something
Oh,
personal.
come on, fella. He didn't
Well,
mean
I mean, he didn't mean you. I think I can see where the angry part of the title is going to be brewing from, huh? The heat, plus being in the room for probably forever.
There was one alleged eyewitness to this killing. Someone else claims he heard the killing, saw the boy run out afterwards, and there was a lot of circumstantial evidence. But actually, those 2 witnesses were the entire case for the prosecution. Supposing they're wrong.
What are you trying to say? Those people sat on the stand under oath.
They're only people. People make mistakes. Could they be wrong?
Well, no, I don't think so.
Do you know so?
Oh, come on, nobody can know a thing like that. This isn't an exact science.
That's right, it
Well,
isn't.
Right, exactly, it isn't. So we have to treat it like it's not an exact science, which means you guys shouldn't be acting like it's an exact science. Yeah.
The knife this fine, upright boy admitted buying the night of the killing. Let's talk about it.
Now, are you trying to tell me that this knife really fell through a hole in the boy's pocket? Someone picked it up off the street, went to the boy's house, and stabbed his father with it just to test its sharpness?
No, I'm just saying it's possible the boy lost his knife and that somebody else stabbed his father with a similar knife. It's just possible.
Take
Right.
a look at this knife.
No, you're right.
It's a very unusual knife.
It
I've never
is
seen one like
very
it.
specific, yes.
Aren't you asking us to accept a pretty incredible coincidence?
I'm just saying a coincidence is possible.
Right.
Where did that come from?
It's the same night.
Wow.
Where did you get it?
I bought that in a little pawn shop just 2 blocks from the boy's house.
Wow. I mean, they look pretty similar.
But what does it mean?
That his coincidence could be true.
You mean you're asking us to believe that somebody else did the stabbing with exactly the same kind of knife? The odds are 1,000,000 to 1.
It's possible.
It's
But not
possible.
very probable.
That was crazy, though. He really pulled that out, and it looks similar.
What's interesting about it? Interesting.
It is interesting.
Somebody saw the kid stab his father. What more do we need? You guys can talk the ears right off my head. You know what I mean? I got 3 garages of mine going to pot while you're talking. So let's get done and get out of here.
Everyone's just, so many people are so concerned about just getting out and getting this over with while someone's life is in their hands. But no, we have to go to the baseball game.
I want to call for another vote. I want you 11 men to vote by secret written ballot. I'll
Wow.
abstain. There are 11 votes for guilty. I won't stand alone. We'll take in a guilty verdict to the judge right now. But if anyone votes not guilty, we stay here and talk it out.
Wow. Oh, I wonder. There's gonna be at least one person, I think. That's some trust that you have, honestly, but I think he's already made, you know, a bit of a compelling argument for not guilty. Yeah, this is hard. This is a really hard, especially since it's like, oh, but it's crystal clear evidence. But is it?
Guilty. Guilty.
Oh, boy. Oh.
Not guilty.
Wow.
All right. Who was it? Come on, I want to know.
Oh, my God. That's not the point of this.
I know who it was.
Oh, God. Here we
Brother,
go.
you really are something. You sit here, vote guilty like the rest of us, then some golden-voiced preacher starts tearing your poor heart out. Why don't you drop a quarter in this collection box?
Oh,
The angriness is coming.
It doesn't matter. He's very excitable. Sit down.
Excitable? You bet I'm excitable. We're trying to put a guilty man in the chair where he belongs. Someone starts telling us fairy tales and we're listening.
Wow. It's not even that. It's not even outlandish things that this guy is saying.
I did.
Wow.
Oh, fine.
I know it.
Do we have to listen to this?
Oh my God. This guy is so annoying. This older man.
I want to hear more. Right now, the vote is 10-2. I'm talking here. You have no right to leave this
Can't
room.
hear you. He never will. Let's sit down.
He never will. Well, that's fair. No, I completely agree with this guy, especially since now we kind of know that the evidence was like, not completely and utterly like crystal clear. So,
Hey, what are you getting out of this, Kicks?
a person's life is in your hands.
You think he's not guilty, huh?
I don't know. It's possible.
Right. And I think that's why he's saying that.
Supposing you talk us all out of this and kid really did knife his father, huh?
And that is a possibility. It's just like he keeps saying like, I don't know if he's guilty, but he knows more that he's not sure if he is. Like, I don't know. That's why he keeps saying that he's like, I don't know, because it's not that he doesn't completely think that he isn't guilty, but.
Has anybody here any idea how long it would take an elf?
Wow. Unbelievable.
This isn't a game.
The nerve.
All right, listen,
The absolute nerve.
All right.
You have the nerve to be playing tic-tac-fucking-toe?
Who does he think he is?
Oh my God.
I lived in a second-floor apartment near the L line once. When the window is open and the train goes by, the noise is almost unbearable. You can hardly hear yourself think.
All right, you can't hear yourself think. Well, you get to the point.
And I will. Now, just a minute.
These, they're all getting irritable, and they're irritating me with their irritability.
We've agreed that it takes 10 seconds for a train to pass a given point. Since the woman saw the killing through the last two cars, we can assume that the body hit the floor just as the train went by. Therefore, the train had been roaring by the old man's window a full 10 seconds before the body hit the floor.
Wow.
The old man, according
Yeah.
to his own testimony, I'm going to kill you, body hitting the floor a split second later, would have had to hear the boy make this statement with the yell roaring past his nose. It's not possible he could have heard it.
Right.
You're talking about a matter of seconds. Nobody can be that accurate.
Well, I think testimony
Well,
that could put a
it
boy
could
into the
be the
electric chair
situation.
should be that accurate.
Right. He is absolutely right. It's like, literally, this person, this whether he's an old man or young man on trial, this person's life is in your hands. Like, you have to be considerate of everything.
Attention, maybe.
You keep coming in with these bright sayings. Why don't you send them into a paper? They pay $3 a piece.
What are you talking to him like that for?
Oh my God, this guy is so
Guy
annoying.
talks like that to an old man really ought to get stepped on, you know?
Oh!
You ought to have more respect, mister. If you say stuff like that to him again, I'm gonna lay you out.
Ooh! Oh, shit. You know what? Good for him. Truly good for this dude. Because, like, this guy just keeps yapping way too much.
Why do you think the old man might lie?
It was just that I looked at him for a very long time. I-
And that other guy's an ass, too.
He was dragging his left leg. Nobody knows him. Nobody quotes him.
Oh, wait a minute.
When there
What are
was
you
a
trying
chance-
to do? Tell us he'd lie just so he could be important once?
No. He wouldn't really lie, but perhaps he made himself believe he heard those words and recognized the boy's face.
Well, that's the most fantastic story I've ever heard. How can you make up a thing like that? What do you know about it?
Just as well as you are taking people's accounts of what happened. It's just another potential situation. It is. It's all kind of a potential situation.
Well, he's much too bright for that.
Bright? He's a common, ignorant slob. He don't even speak good English.
He doesn't even speak good English.
Interesting. Anyway.
Mr. Foreman, I'd like to change my vote to not guilty.
Oh!
You what? You heard me.
The vote is 9-3 favor of guilty.
Wow. I think it's going to take a while, but...
What are you basing it on? Stories this guy made up?
It's not even... they keep saying making up. It's just... He's literally bringing up another point. It's so much speculation and so much I don't know, but these are potential situations that could happen.
The woman across the street testified that the moment after she saw the killing, she screamed. The boy certainly must have heard the scream. So he knew that somebody saw something.
In his state of panic, he may not have heard the scream. Perhaps it wasn't very loud. If he did hear it, he may not have connected it with his own act. Remember, he lived in a neighborhood where screams were fairly commonplace.
There's your answer.
Maybe.
It's a maybe. Again, there's no exact. Ugh.
Maybe all of those things happened, but maybe they didn't.
Exactly.
He's twisting the facts, I'm telling you. Did or didn't the old man see the kid running out of the house at 12:10?
He says he did.
Says he did.
Says
Boy,
he
how do
did.
you like that?
That's what it is. Oh my God! Keep wiping your
Did
nose.
hear the scream, didn't hear the scream. What difference does it make? You people are talking only about the little details. You're forgetting the important stuff. I mean,
what? Oh my Lord! Little details that actually matter. What? Some of these people are unbelievable.
I vote not guilty.
He's slowly getting them.
Now, what about the old man? Are we supposed to believe that he didn't get up and run to his door and see the kid tearing down the steps 15 seconds after the killing?
Did the old man say he ran to the door?
Ran, walked, what's the difference? He got on, did he?
They keep saying, what's the difference? What's the difference? Or the small details, but these are the things that matter.
Mr. Foreman, I'd like to see a diagram of the apartment.
how come you're the only one in this room who wants to see exhibits all the time?
Oh my God, because you guys are ignoring. Oh my Lord.
But I'd like to find out if an old man who drags 1 foot when he walks, because he had a stroke last year, can get from his bedroom to his front door in 15 seconds.
Said 20 seconds.
He said 15.
Right.
How does he know how long 15 seconds is? You can't judge a thing like that.
He said 15 seconds. He was very positive about it.
He was an old
This
man.
guy is
Half the
so
time he was
irritating.
confused. How could he be positive about anything?
Exactly, you fuck. Oh my God, you egghead.
He would have had to walk 12 feet, open the bedroom door, walk 43 feet down, and open the front door, all in 15 seconds. You think he could have done it?
Sure he could have done it.
He can walk only very slowly. They had to help him into the witness chair.
You make it sound like a long walk. What are you doing?
I'm going to try it, see how long it took him.
Look, this is absolutely insane. What do you...
Get the hell out of the way. Damn.
You want me to start? Stamp your foot? That'll be the body falling. You can tie me from there.
What are we gonna do, play charades now?
Fuck off. Damn, these guys are so annoying.
Come on,
Right.
speed it up. He walked twice as fast.
Speed it up. Oh my God. The peanut gallery commentary from these dudes is like so insane to me. Like I understand, oh, irritable, whatever. This is more than 15 seconds.
41 seconds.
Here's what I think happened. The old man heard the fight between the boy and his father a few hours earlier. Then when he's lying in his bed, he heard a body hit the floor in the boy's apartment, heard the woman scream from across the street, got to his front door as fast as he could, heard somebody racing down the stairs, and assumed it was the boy.
I think that's possible.
Assume? Brother, I've seen all kinds of dishonesty in my day, but this little display takes the cake. You all know he's guilty. He's got to burn. You're letting him slip through our fingers.
Slip through our fingers? Are you his executioner?
I'm one of them.
Yeah, and there
Perhaps
you go.
you'd like to pull the
That's-
switch.
Yep.
For this kid, you bet I would.
I feel sorry for you. What it must feel like to want to pull the switch.
Yep.
Ever since you
I
walked
know.
into this room, you've been acting like a self-appointed public avenger.
Yes.
You want to see this boy die because you personally want it, not because of the facts.
Oh.
You're a sadist.
Ooh. I completely agree with
You
him.
don't really mean you'll kill me, do you?
Oh. He's really proving it to him. Yeah, you're looking through a very pea-sized hole, you know, and not anything. This isn't like outlandish. This guy is not being outlandish with like the way that he's trying to present possible alternate things, you know? It's not fantasy. It's that whole reenactment is so like that is totally possible.
What are you so polite about?
For the same reason you're not.
Ha!
It's the way I was brought up.
Woo! Get him.
Don't you ever sweat?
No, I don't.
Huh. Interesting.
The vote is now 6-6.
Yep.
How come you changed your vote?
Well, it just seemed to me there was room for doubt.
Oh, come on. You're like everybody else. You think too much, you get mixed up. You know what I mean?
Now, listen, I don't think you have any right to...
Yeah.
Loudmouth.
Yeah, he is a loudmouth. He's a peanut gallery loudmouth, stupid ass. If I yell loud enough, that means I'm right, right? Right? Hate people like that.
Say that business before when that tall guy, what's his name, was trying to bait me. And that doesn't prove anything. He was just trying to bait me.
Yeah.
He did an excellent job.
Yeah, he did an excellent job. Also, denial. Denial.
I'm ready to walk into court right now and declare a hung jury.
Come on, we're hung. Nobody's going to change his vote. Let's take it inside.
You still don't think there's room for reasonable doubt?
No, I don't.
Maybe you don't fully understand the term reasonable doubt.
What do you mean, I don't understand?
Well, let's clarify.
Well, how do you like this guy? I'm telling you, they're all alike. They come over here running for their life, and before they can take a deep breath, they're telling us how to run the show, huh? Boy, the arrogance of this guy.
Crazy. I know it's the 50s, but goddamn, right? Not to give an excuse to saying, oh, it's the 1950s, you know, but time periods.
He couldn't remember the names of the movies or the stars who appeared in them. This gentleman here has brought that point in here several times. That's correct.
He was probably in shock for finding his father dead, I guess, you know? That could be a potential
Putting
situation.
yourself in the boy's place, do you think you could remember details after an upsetting experience such as being slapped in the face by your father?
I think so.
Where were you last night?
I was home.
Monday night?
My wife and I went to the movies.
What did you see?
The Scarlet Circle.
What was the second feature?
Mrs. Bainbridge, the remarkable Mrs. Bainbridge.
I saw that. It's called The Amazing Mrs. Bainbridge.
Oh!
Yes.
And you weren't under an emotional stress, were you?
Uh-oh. The sweat! The sweat! What a detail.
There was this whole business about the stab wound and how it was made. The downward angle of it, you know. Now, the boy was 5 feet 7 inches tall. His father was 6'2". That's a difference of 7 inches. It's a very awkward thing to stab down into the chest of someone who's more than half a foot taller than you are.
Give me that.
I mean...
Well, this is the way I'd stab a man who was taller than I was.
How do you use a switchblade?
Well, he'd never use it like this.
Right.
See, you lose too much time switching hands.
Because, yeah, it's the hold of it, yeah.
Here's how. Underhanded.
Right.
Anyone who's ever used the switch knife wouldn't handle it any other way.
Are you sure?
That's what I was kind of, yeah.
You'd say the boy was pretty handy with a knife.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You think he could have made the kind of wound that killed his father?
No. I feel he'd have gone for him underhanded.
How do you know? Were you in the room when the father was killed?
No.
Once again,
Neither
it's
was anybody
literally
else.
just...
What are you giving us all this mumbo-jumbo for? I don't believe it.
I don't think you can determine what type of wound the boy might or might not have made simply because he knew how to handle a knife.
We're not, there's no determination. It's saying, all of this is just speculating a different scenario, right? Like, I don't, so just like the commentary of just irritation from people, it's just so, it can be so annoying.
But I'm getting a little tired of this yakety-yakking back and forth. It's getting us nowhere.
We
So
know.
I guess I'll have to break it up. I changed my vote to not guilty.
Wow.
You what? You heard me. I had enough.
That's not an answer.
Nope, they're not accepting
What
it.
kind of a man are you?
Ooh, get
You
him.
have sat here and voted guilty with everyone else because there are some baseball tickets burning a hole in your pocket. And now you've changed your vote because you say you're sick of all the talking here?
Get him, mustache man, get him.
Want another vote?
It's slow burning, but it's going. Who's that? Yep.
9.
Oh!
All those voting guilty?
Holy! And now you got the Three Stooges.
Well, the vote's 9-3 in favor of acquittal. I don't understand you people. I mean, all these picky little points you keep bringing up, they don't mean nothing.
Picky little points. Picky... That pisses me off. These picky little points are what makes or breaks a case, you idiot.
They don't know what the truth is.
You do...
They don't need any real big reason to kill someone either. No, sir. They get drunk. Oh, they're real big drinkers, all of them. You know that. And bang, someone's lying in the gutter.
Oh my God! Get this racist old fuck out of here! Stereotyping, race... Oh my God.
I've known a couple who were okay, but that's the exception, you know what I mean? Most of them, it's like they have no feelings. They can do...
I'm yelling, so I'm right. Oh my God. Someone knock him into next week.
This kid is a liar. I know it. I know all about them.
Look at all these people. They're just getting up.
Listen to me. They're no good. There's not a one of them who's any good.
Holy shit.
I'm speaking my piece, and you...
You speak your piece of being an ignorant asshole.
Listen.
I have. Now sit down and don't open your mouth again.
Yes. Crazy. Just truly crazy. He just flipped the hell out. And it just... He had been showing his true colors this entire... It wasn't even true colors, just who he is, right? This whole time, but he just completely broke, and he's a complete ass. Wow.
We 9 can't understand how you 3 are still so sure.
Yep.
Maybe you can tell us.
The evidence given by the woman across the street who actually saw the murder committed. What do you think?
Okay, I say we're a hung jury. I say we take it into the judge.
Maybe we can talk about setting some kind of time limit. Someone before mentioned 7 o'clock. I think that's a point at which we might begin to discuss the question of whether we're a hung jury or not.
You made a gesture that reminded me of something.
Your eyeglasses made those 2 deep impressions in the sides of your nose.
What is his point here?
The woman who testified that she saw the killing had those same marks on the sides of her nose.
She wasn't wearing her glasses, was she?
I don't know if anyone else noticed that about her. No glasses.
How do you know whether she wore glasses? Just because she was rubbing her nose?
Now, she had those marks. I saw them.
The marks?
Well, so what? What do you think that means?
Listen, I'm getting so sick of you yelling at him.
Yeah, this guy is so... Oy.
I was the closest one to her. She had these things in the side of her nose. What do you call those on the side?
Well, what point are you making here? She had dyed hair, marks on her nose. Well,
can you lower your fucking voice?
I didn't see any marks.
I did.
Yep.
Strange, but I didn't think about it before.
Well, when she saw this kid killing his father, she was in the house alone. That's all.
So, but
Do you wear glasses when you go to bed?
Right.
No.
Right. Exactly.
I don't.
Yep. She probably didn't have them on.
Maybe she was farsighted. What do you know about it?
I only know the woman's eyesight is in question now.
She had to be able to identify a person 60 feet away at night.
60! That's such a far distance.
Don't you think the woman might have made a mistake?
No.
Right.
It's
How?
not possible.
No, it's not possible.
How? You cannot be serious. 60 feet away, even with your glasses, is kind of like, you know, like, come on. Like, that's a relatively far distance.
You think he's guilty?
Yep.
I think he's guilty.
Now I think he's just being a stubborn prick, you know, because he's too far in, right?
No.
Wow.
I'm convinced.
Nice.
Not guilty.
Well, what about all the other evidence? What about all that stuff? The knife,
That was
the
also
whole
a question.
business?
Well, you said we could throw out all the other evidence.
Oh! Yes! He is getting bit in the ass so much because he just keeps, you know?
Every single thing that took place in that courtroom, but I mean everything, says he's guilty. What do you think? I'm an idiot or something?
Well, yes, actually, I do frankly think you're the biggest idiot in this room.
You can't prove he didn't get to the door. Sure, you can take all the time, hobble around the room, but you can't prove it.
But everything he's saying also applies to the evidence that was presented.
Here. Rotten kids, you work your life out.
Yeah, that's good. No, that's good. This isn't projecting or anything, all the things that he's saying right now.
Not guilty.
And there you go. Wild stuff. And definitely 12 angry men. Definitely. Ugh. Wow, yeah, this guy just saved that kid's life. Again, it's just like, yes, there is a very big possibility that everything is completely as it was in the court and that this kid killed his father and he is guilty. But there's just too much potential reasonable doubt to execute a person. You know, that's, yeah. Wow, okay. Oof. That was definitely something. That was kind of a whirlwind. I did not know what to expect, but I didn't expect that, you know? This definitely ended up kind of being a movie where, like, your morals and ethics and kind of like values and just the way you can perceive a situation really like come into play, you know? Like, it showed that you have to be someone when you're in a jury like this for where someone's life is in your hands. Like, you have to consider everything and try to see if there is some sort of reasonable doubt within that. And that's, you know, it's incredibly hard to try to navigate that. And so, you know, the guy who started it all by saying not guilty and basically having to fully convince the rest of everybody to also see why it is not guilty, like that took a lot. And it's hard in a way to like be that person who is clearly kind of gonna stand on their own island for, at least with this, for a bit, you know? But even in the beginning when they were kind of taking that vote, right? Like, it was just like, people, like, you know, stuck their hand up right away. Like, they heard what was going on in the court and kind of took it at face value in a way. And then, you know, guilty. But then you saw some people that were like, other people are saying guilty, so I'm gonna raise my hand and say guilty because, okay, well, if everybody else is so sure about putting, you know, their hand up for guilty, then, it, you know, probably we all heard the same evidence and it seems pretty much guilty, so, you know, I'm slightly unsure, but, you know, I'll follow. And then you have, you know, the last guy who is like, no, there's something not quite right with this. I don't know what yet, but there's something not quite right with it. And, you know, being in discussion with everything and just kind of laying out all of the most significant evidence and points, it's like, yeah, there is room for reasonable doubt. This is not a open and shut case like that one dude was talking about. It's like, actually, no, it's you have to look deeper. You have to be mindful of these things and try to see that these aren't these situations that, you know, that guy was talking about, and how, you know, the whole thing with the old man and dragging his foot across, you know, 40 feet of hallway and everything. Like, these aren't just made up. We're basing it off of the layout of the apartment and his injury and potentially just anything. Like, these are valid points and valid arguments. And the whole thing with, like, you know, the main two asshats who were like so curmudgeon like, you know, and just the way that they were just like, oh, all these little details and all you're twisting the evidence, and it's just like, no, I said in the reaction, like, these little details really are making or breaking the case here in terms of whether this is true, not true, or whatever. Like, so it was just so irritating. Like, this movie kind of gets you riled up a little bit because these people are just like, they're so, again, like peanut gallery commentary kind of, and just like just butting in and not listening. Like, I think with me, it's like, I think I just hate it when people are just like that. Like, they're just so like, dismissive and immature, and like they just clearly aren't listening, and they just want to like crack a joke, or you know, they're just being like assholes. It just like that pisses me off so much, especially when I'm watching movies. Like I'm always just like, oh my god. And clearly I was that like that with this too, because it's just like there were several people like that, but those two, you know, main, you know, dickheads, like those both of them were just like, holy shit, shut up, listen with your ears, please. So this got, you know, very deep very quickly, and, you know, understandably so, considering everything. Like, whether it was this young man who was being accused of doing this, or it didn't matter, you know, it didn't matter who it was, old person, young person, black, white, you know, whatever. It's just like the all the evidence that's laid out is just, it has to be questioned and retold and made sure that it's like truly sound. And the fact that this person's life is on the line, literal life is on the line, it's just that it made it that much more like intricate and important, and just everything like that. And it was definitely irritating to watch, you know, some of the folks just kind of not know, like, care about that. And that they were just like, oh, you know, they're playing tic-tac-toe. The one dude at the end of the table is doing like sales pitches, basically. Like, it's just like, this was, what? The gravity of this situation is not on, like, to anything to you, apparently. And like, so there was a lot of frustrating points in this film, involving like just the attitudes of some of the people. So I truly commend, like, you know, the main juror who originally said he would like not guilty, to like basically, you know, you took an entire crowd, entire group of people and convinced them that this is actually a situation of there's reasonable doubt, and so it has to be, you know, not guilty. And in this case, or just in any case, I guess, it's not necessarily guilty and innocent, it's guilty and not guilty. So like guilty as in like all the evidence is against you and you did it, or not guilty meaning just the evidence doesn't fully support that you did it in this with the evidence that is had. It's not that you didn't do it, so he could have done it, but they just didn't have the right evidence. So it's not necessarily meaning, like, that's with any case, right? Like, that it's just like, okay, it's not even, that's, I guess, just terminology wise, right? That's kind of that's kind of what it is, right? But yeah, again, just a lot of really good points were made. They managed to break down, again, those very prominent, like, evidence points, and just try to, like, they weren't even, it's not even skewing it. Like, skewing it isn't the right word. It's just presenting another angle and just saying, like, this is possible. And that's like another thing, is that, like, you know, the folks that were so loud were just like, you're twisting it, you're blah blah blah, you're making it as if, like, how do you know? Like, how can you? But what you're saying can also be applied to what, like, the evidence already presented is. You know what I mean? It's just like, well, okay, how do you know that? Like, are you sure? Like, it works. It's just funny how, like, they were, like, yelling and screaming about things that also applied, like, the other way around, you know? And it was especially funny when, like, especially that main guy, the last guy who finally said not guilty, he was, you know, kicked in the ass multiple times because he just kept yapping, and he contradicted himself and contradicted the way he was thinking, and I think that's by the end of it, he just, like, that he knew that and he folded, and not even folded, but, like, you know what I mean, he realized it, I think, and that he was like, oh well, but he was stubborn right until the end, because I guess that's just, you know, who he is, and he didn't want to be wrong or be proved wrong or whatever because he's stubborn, and ugh. But again, anyway, kind of just going back to the other point I was saying, just like all the other angles that were presented, it's like they weren't like fantastical. They weren't just pulled out of your ass. Like, this was literally just like actually potential situations that could happen. It's just like, okay, well, you know, the timing of this is weird. We have to question the timing of things. We have to question the time that it took for the guy to get from his bed to the door. We have to question if this woman who clearly has glasses, evidence, like physical evidence that she wears glasses, was she wearing them at the time of when she saw it happen, and the whole thing with the trains passing by. And it's just like, these have to be questioned. In any case, in any sort of scenario in which you are a jury and trying to figure everything out. And that's why you talk about it openly like this, to like make sure that like, and like different, you know, people chiming in saying, well, what about this? And like the old man with the glasses, like or the old man talking about the whole glasses thing. And like the other guy talking about just raising different points. And it's just like, this is exactly why you are in this room and collaborating with each other, and you know what I mean? So it's just, this is a lot. This was actually a lot deeper than, I guess, you know, it could have, well, no, it's just a lot deeper in general, you know? And it's not even necessarily like deeper in the way that just like, oh, it's like symbolism and, you know, you're watching and you have to like think about it afterwards and just like, what does that mean? No, like they was deep in the way, and they explained why, like they explained it within it in the movie of the deepness, I guess, you know, because they were so back and forth through like the arguments and everything about how, you know, this matters and you have to be particular and stuff, you know what I mean? Like the deepness and like the meaning and stuff within this movie is just already presented throughout the movie, rather than like presented and then not like necessarily like addressed. I don't know. Does that make any sense like at all? Probably not, but I'm just yapping away. So what I mean overall is that it just did a good job at what it was trying to accomplish, I guess. At least with me, you kind of got angry as, you know, other people were getting angry because you were angry that they were angry and yelling and stuff, you know? So maybe that's just me, but I don't know. Like when it's just, I don't know, when I said it plenty of times in the reaction, but when it's just someone being so loud and stuff and just speaking some nonsense, it's just so like, oh my God, stop, right? So I'm just over here being like exasperated by just some silly behavior, I guess. So overall, this was good. This was well done. This was smart in a big way, I guess. And it got you kind of just going a little bit in terms of just like listening and having just reactions to the reactions of the people in this jury, and it did a good job overall. The movie was very good overall. So I guess with that, I did really enjoy myself, and I hope that you guys enjoyed the reaction. If you did enjoy the reaction, please feel free to like the video, and if you aren't already, please feel free to subscribe. And of course, if you want to watch the full unedited version of this video or anything else on my channel, you can absolutely do so over on my Patreon. It is $5 a month for that. And to those of you who are already on my Patreon, I really do appreciate you over there. Thank you so much for being there. Thank you so much for your support, and I hope you're enjoying all the full unedited reaction videos, the access to the polls, and access to other reactions that aren't yet cut for YouTube. If you want to find me outside of YouTube, you can absolutely do so. You can find me pretty much anywhere at OGB Reacts. I'm mainly over on Twitter, but I'm also on Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. So yeah, totally get why this is definitely a movie in which, you know, people mention that it's well done. It's one of those movies you just gotta kind of watch. Totally get it. And so with that, really do hope that you guys enjoyed this reaction, and I hope to see you all in the next reaction video, whatever that may be. Okie dokie, toodaloo, adios, and goodbye!